So a new season of Baki dropped, and for some reason, Netflix decided that instead of making this Baki season 4, they made it a completely separate series. So Baki and Baki Hanma are two completely different series, despite them being connected, and despite Baki Hanma literally being Baki season 4. But that's weird. I was about to say but and something else, but nah, that's just odd. Like, why would they do that? I'm not gonna lie though, when they did that, it did get me a little excited, because I was like, okay, this is a completely separate series. This is like a new little fresh start. Who knows? They may improve on a lot of things I didn't like about the previous seasons of Baki, right?
Wrong.
After watching Baki Hanma, I can say that it was enjoyable, but it is still very, very similar to the previous seasons of Baki. So it kind of just raises the question, why did they make it a complete... I'm not about to stay on this. It is what it is. Baki and Baki Hanma are two different series. Now I'm gonna hop straight into the review and warn you niggas that there are definitely 100% spoilers in this video. I highly recommend that you niggas check out my previous Baki review before you watch this one, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what order you watch it in. You can watch it before, you can watch it after. I really don't care. Just give me my views, nigga. Just give me my views. Give me the likes too.
You need to leave.
Also would like to say that in my last Baki review, I asked for like, what, 20 likes, and that video ended up blowing the fuck up a little bit and getting way more than that. I don't know exactly how many likes it has right now, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put it on the screen. I appreciate that.
We do not care.
Now, usually when I do reviews, I break them down into 3 segments: animation, pacing, and enjoyment. But this time, I'm just gonna completely get rid of the enjoyment segment and just have a conclusion at the end, because I just feel like enjoyment is just a really weird segment to put into a review. Each segment is rated out of 10, and then at the end, I'm gonna add up all the points and rate the season out of 20. Off rip, I want to give the animators big respect for completely eliminating the use of CGI in their animation. One of my biggest complaints about the animation for Baki in my last review is that they use CGI quite a bit in the fights, and I just fucking hated it. Watching CGI fights in Baki was like watching fucking Gang Beast fighting compilations or some shit. Like, that shit was not good at all. I'm not gonna hold you. So yeah, big respect to the animators for, you know, really just sticking with the 2D animation style. I personally just prefer that. But despite them completely eliminating CGI, a lot of fights in this season still had a huge resemblance to the fights in the previous season, and that's really just sad. Watching fights in Baki honestly feels like I'm watching a very nicely drawn slideshow, and I really can't complain about the art style like at all, because the art style in Baki has always been one of my favorite things about it. The way the characters are drawn is just nice, bro. I just wish the animation could match the art style. A lot of times when the character does something like punch someone, kick someone, etc., instead of actually watching them throw said punch, they will just show an image of the punch landing and add some special effects and speed lines to give you the illusion you're watching a well animated fight, but when really you're just watching a fucking PowerPoint. They rarely fully animate fight scenes, which is really sad considering that this is an anime about fighting. And when they do animate a character fighting, they turn whatever limb the character is using to attack into a color streak instead of fully animating the limb. Now, this is a common thing in anime. Like when Killua was fighting that random Chimera Ant that one time, they actually did this. Instead of actually animating the attacks he was throwing at the fucking Chimera Ant, they turned his fucking arms into like these weird little color streaks, which was, you know, a way just to show how fast he was moving. But in Baki, they just literally do this all the time. Like, it would be cool if they did this sometimes just to show you, oh, this character's moving this fast, but they are not doing that. They do it whenever they aren't using the slideshow special effects tactic, and it's just sad to see, bro.
Come on now, dawg.
I'll give Baki Hanma a 5 out of 10 for animation, which is actually 3 points higher than the rating I gave it last time. While the animation for this season is still very similar to the animation for the last 3 seasons, I'd be lying if I said this new season didn't look slightly better. While they are taking, you know, like small baby steps into having better animation, all I can really do is hope that they keep taking those small baby steps, and who knows, by the time the series is concluded, we can have some actual decent animation. You know, that's all I can hope for. Switching gears a little bit, the pacing for Baki. I'm sorry if I butchered this dude's name, but the way Keisuke Itagaki writes and paces this series is honestly the only reason I even bother reviewing it. It's not too fast or too slow. It is honestly, in my eyes, perfect. Like, this is how you pace a series, my nigga. This is how you do it, bro. Keisuke does an amazing job displaying how strong characters are without just telling you or just showing you how strong they are. They kind of imply how strong the character is. Example, in this arc, Baki purposely goes to prison, and in prison he meets Mike Tyson. Like, yeah, the Mike Tyson, you know, the nigga who was biting niggas' ears off and knocking niggas out first 5 seconds of all all of his fights. Like, yeah, Mike Tyson, my nigga. Now, there's a scene where the head of the prison sends a group of niggas called Mouth to basically jump Mike Tyson and beat his ass to the point where he can never box again. Now, niggas know Mike Tyson. Niggas know how Mike get down.
My vital organs!
You know that for somebody to beat Mike Tyson to the point where he can never box again, they gotta have hands. Ain't no way 3 regular niggas are about to put Mike Tyson out of commission. Ain't no way. But despite Mike Tyson being Mike Tyson, he could not defend himself against Mouth. Now, I'm gonna go on a little tangent and say that I like the whole concept of a group of niggas named Mouth. Each one of them represents the part of your average mouth. You got lips, tongue, and teeth. And the reason they're called Mouth is because of their immaculate teamwork. Like, go grab a snack, like right now, like just like right now. This is mandatory. Now, as you chew, something that you've probably never noticed while you ate food is how well your mouth works together to actually chew that food and, you know, swallow that food. Like, think about it. One wrong move from your lips and your tongue, and you can fuck around and bite your fucking lip off type shit. Like, but you never really have that issue because of how well your mouth works together to keep that from happening. That is how good Mouth's teamwork is. So often Mouth uses their godlike teamwork to beat the dog shit out of Mike Tyson. The second strongest man in the prison, Guvaru, comes to save him. Now, after establishing how OP Mouth is, you would think that even Guvaru would have some kind of trouble beating them. No, he effortlessly beats Mouth. Keisuke literally wrote Mike Tyson into this anime just to show him getting his ass beat by Mouth, which is a group of niggas that he spent quite some time going into depth on how strong they are and how good their teamwork is, just to have Guvaru come in and beat they ass without breaking a sweat. Keisuke did all of that just to show you how strong Guvaru is. And that's not all. They did all of that to show you how strong Guvaru is just for him to fight Olivia and get his ass beat. Keisuke really did all of that explaining with Mike Tyson, Mouth, and Guvaru just to hype up how strong Olivia was and how much of a challenge he's going to be for Baki, because the whole point of the season is for Baki to, you know, beat up Olivia to prove that he's the stronger person. That level of layering and pacing / writing for any form of media is rare, and when it comes to hyping up how strong a character is, nobody does it like Baki. And this is not only instance in Baki where the pacing was this good, that's the whole show. I just like, you know, kind of nitpick my favorite moment. Now, based on all this evidence that I've provided, I'm gonna go ahead and just say that the pacing for Baki is a 10 out of 10. That's facts. The writing and pacing for this show is just genius, my nigga, and I can't complain. I have no complaints. So in conclusion, Baki Hanma is gonna get a 15 out of 20, which is a much better rating than I gave it last time. While the animation was only a little bit better than the previous seasons, they really did step up their game with the pacing. But I feel like in my last review, when I said that the pacing is only good when the characters aren't fighting, I wasn't really taking into account how big of a part the pacing plays into the fights. Even if the fights are poorly animated or poorly paced, while the rest of the show is actually really well paced, I still cannot ignore the fact that Keisuke uses the pacing to get you more excited for fights and to really like hype up a character and really show you how strong they are without just blatantly showing you how strong they are. But I can sit here and, you know, talk about how good the pacing is until my face turns fucking purple. Still won't fix that the fight scenes are still kind of ass. Still won't fix that the animation is kind of ass. And that is very sad to see in a fighting anime. But one thing that I did discover is that Keisuke's writing style fits the manga perfectly. So my advice to anybody trying to get into Baki or not really fucking with the Baki anime would be to just to read the manga, honestly. You don't really have to worry about how bad the animation is in the fights when you're reading the manga, because there is no animation. It's just still images everywhere. When you look at the way that Keisuke structures his fight scenes, it honestly does not fit anime at all. It fits manga more than anything. Like, if you read the manga, it should, like, it'll make more sense. While I do mean what I said in the title, Baki Hanma is the worst fighting anime, facts, it is the best fighting manga. I have yet to see a manga about fighting that is better than Baki. So yes, my conclusion for this review is that you should just read the fucking manga. That is literally it.